While a lot of other YouTubers are complaining about the lack of big heavy hitters on the Switch 2, I'm honestly kind of content right now. I've been loving Kirby Air Riders and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Mario Kart World is very fun too, despite being overpriced. Mario Tennis Fever looks surprisingly solid for a Mario Tennis game, and Yoshi and the Mysterious Book looks really good, and Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave also looks promising. But the one area where I do think the Switch 2 is lacking in right now is upgrades for Switch 1 games. I'm not just referring to Switch 2 editions, I'm referring to any performance and graphical upgrade in general. So far, we've only gotten about 15 free upgrades and 8 paid upgrades. I think this is very underwhelming so far, considering we have gotten dozens of first-party games throughout the Switch 1 era, and a lot of these games could benefit from an upgrade, as some games only run at 30 FPS, or would look incredible in 1440p or upscaled 4K. One example is all of the Xenoblade games. While they are very impressive for the Switch 1, I feel like they definitely deserve some kind of enhancement on Switch 2. Xenoblade 2 specifically struggled quite a lot on Switch 1, and while it does run better on the Switch 2 out of the box, a more substantial performance boost would be nice. And the rest of the games do run significantly better even on Switch 1, but it would be nice if all of them got a 60 FPS patch at the very least. And a bump in resolution would also be nice too, but I would be fine if all of them were consistently in 1080p at the very least. Another example is Paper Mario The Origami King and the Thousand Year Door remake. Both of these games are on 30 FPS and would greatly benefit from a 60 FPS patch, especially the Thousand Year Door remake, since the original version of that game on the GameCube ran at 60 FPS. I understand why the remake was at 30 FPS because it ran in an engine where the previous two games ran at 30 FPS, but I really hope there's a 60 FPS patch on Switch 2. Both of these games also ran at 900p natively, so it would be nice if they got a resolution bump to 1440p with upscaled 4K, because these games look absolutely incredible. And then another Mario RPG that would benefit from an upgrade is Mario & Luigi Brothership. While this game runs significantly better on Switch 2 and has shorter loading times, a frame rate upgrade and resolution bump would be nice, as well as a way to cut down the loading times even more. I could see this one potentially becoming a Switch 2 edition, because there is a lot of potential for new content. I was thinking a new side mode starring Bowser Jr. and Buddy would be pretty cool. And then finally, an upgrade for Pikmin 3 Deluxe and 4 would be nice. Pikmin 3 Deluxe ran into some really weird issues on Switch 2, and it's quite baffling that Nintendo didn't address them sooner, and I'm not gonna defend them like a certain Blue Puppet did. Apparently, they are going to do something with 3 Deluxe soon, as a Switch 2 version of the game was rated in Europe very recently, so they might end up doing a Switch 2 edition. And I would imagine that a Pikmin 4 Switch 2 edition would release alongside this, kind of similar to the Zelda Switch 2 editions. But I think there's a possible reason for why we have been waiting so long for these Switch 2 upgrades, and I think it's because some developers are currently involved with other projects. Like Intelligent Systems is working on both Fortune's Weave and very likely the next Paper Mario game. And Monolith Soft is possibly occupied with both a brand new project like Xenoblade and is supporting development for other Nintendo games like they usually do. But I think there are some possible solutions to this. We've seen multiple upgrades so far being handled by external development teams, such as Panic Button. All of the games that they upgraded were originally developed by teams that were likely occupied at the time, like the ARMS devs with Mario Kart World, the Odyssey devs with Bonanza, and the new Super Mario Bros. Deluxe devs with Wonder Switch 2 Edition. So Nintendo could possibly find other teams that could handle these upgrades. Nintendo Software Technology is a good candidate, as they do a lot of support work. Tantalus Media is also a good option, as they've worked on multiple ports for Nintendo in the past. Then there's Shiver Entertainment, which Nintendo bought out fairly recently, possibly for this purpose specifically. But then there's also the fact that some games may not even need that much work to be enhanced, and may already have a Switch 2 upgrade in mind. The remake of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door has an unused setting for 4K, not a native resolution, but possibly for upscaled 4K, which would make sense on Switch 2. And then Xenoblade X Definitive Edition has an unused 60 FPS setting in the files. So maybe Monolith Soft has an upgrade ready and is waiting for all of the Xenoblade games to have an upgrade that's ready for them. So anyways, I think the output for upgrades for Switch 1 games has been kind of disappointing so far, but I've been hoping that Nintendo will release more patches for these games soon. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!